Hello. Well, this is going to be a weekly event for me and for you. I've started what I'm calling the Rebel Oracle, and it's about my writing, but it isn't. It's also about the world, because actually, the world is always involved in all my novels, all my stories. And like my dad, I'm a tale weaver. Now, the Oracle, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a card. And out of my favorite tarot pack, which is this one, which you may or may not know, the Enchanted Forest pack. And I find it absolutely stunning and so very good to use, so easy. It works for me. So that's what I'm going to use. You see how you like it, and you might get one yourself. So I'm going to pick a card and I'm going to talk it through with you. And I've already picked today's, and I was quite amazed actually because I was not expecting this one. Now let's see if I can get it in focus for you. There he is. He's the enchanter, and he's one of the people in the enchanted forest, and he absolutely holds the magic of the forest. Or at least he's one of the people who do. And he's very much about magic, about wisdom, about the will, about your intention, and your ability to influence and to help. And he quite often turns up when things are not going too well. Try and keep him here for the moment so that you can see him. He's actually full of magic and he's actually holding lots of magic. It's come to him. Can you see all the things that are happening in the mist, in the parts of what's happening between his hands there? It almost seem to be part of his beard, part of his hair, and maybe they are. But he's wise, and that wise is really useful to us. Often bad things happen. Bad things have been happening around my place recently. Bad things have probably been happening occasionally around you. And we wonder why. What's going on? And what have we done to deserve this? Why is it happening? Why is it happening now? The enchanter tells us that it's often part of a much bigger picture. That it's just one thing that's happening. I mean, small one that's happened recently. Before the weekend and up to Sunday morning, we had a really bad storm here. Very, very bad. 50, 60 mile an hour winds. And things have got blown about. Things have got very, very wet. And one little thing, I feed the birds. Maybe you feed the birds too, but I feed the birds. And I get lots of little songbirds, and they're so beautiful, aren't they? Really, really gorgeous little creatures. And some of them are about that big. Now, in a 50-mile-an-hour wind, can you imagine being that big and being blown about? So it's very worrying for me and maybe for you. What happens to these little birds when there's a big wind? And why should it happen? What have they done to deserve it? Nothing, probably. Almost certainly. But it happens just the same. And some of it, of course, is to do with climate change. But some of it is a much bigger picture is to do with climate change, but it's about Mother Earth adjusting herself to how the world is now, to how the air currents are now, to how the sea currents are. They create the air currents, and how they do these things, and how she has to change how she always has been in order to be how she needs to be now. Well, how does that affect your writing, Ellen? What's that got to do with your stories? I was talking to a student this morning, and one of the things we were saying was that actually, if you get into the old stories and into the stories that come from each of us, you'll find that it is actually Mother Earth talking to you and telling you what to do. Now, this happens. I use this in my stories. In the latest novel that I'm doing, what I've just done, and the ebook is out, and the print book will be out at Samhain, and that's Dancing with a Demon. And in that, my feisty heroine has to actually listen to what the world around her wants. Because she may want some things, certain things, and they may, or they may not, be just what other world needs, what Mother Earth needs. So she has to listen to them all the time. And there she needs someone in her background like the enchanter. And there is someone in the story who is like the enchanter. In fact, there's several someones who come. One of them's actually a dragon. No, it's not a book about dragons, but there is a dragon in it, and a very important one. And she must listen to these. And the way I like to feel about my feisty heroines is that we can be like them. We can actually do what they do. Bad things happen, very bad things happen for her in the book, in the story. But she has to do something about them. In fact, she has to fix them, because otherwise she may lose her life, and so may her lover. And the land around her can be badly affected too. So she must listen. She must do things about it. And that's what this guy tells us to do. Let me try and get him close to you again, where you can see what he's doing. For me, I've always been very close to and seen a lot with Merlin. And he's very Merlin for me. And Merlin is very much part of our British law, our British ancient law and tales, and the old ways here. He's one of the pillar figures behind it. And so he's there in my stories. He's not there as Merlin in this story, but he comes through people. And that's what I find happens with people, with things, and with my books. The characters actually talk through my stories. And yes, they take us on a lovely adventure. Yes, they take us on exciting things that happen and scary things. There are quite a few scary things in Dancing with a Demon. And you do need to think about it, because there are some very scary bits in it, very. But my heroine gets through it. My heroine finds her way by listening to the wise ones of the forest, like this guy. And that's what we all need to do. Now, I don't know what's going to happen each week in this oracle, because it's just going to happen. But it's probably going to be a bit off the wall. As listening to Mother Earth, listening to the world, listening to the trees, listening to the land, and listening to the wisdom of the old spirits of the forest. And we need to do that. And that's part of what is always in all my stories, because I just love doing it. Anyway, that's enough of a reading. If you have a problem, reach in and ask the wise one, the wise enchanter of the forest. Why is this happening? Can you help me understand? Can you help me walk through this? Those are good questions. Try it. And I'll see you next week.